Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Coffee with Convery, where we bring you inspiring stories of career journeys, professional growth, and professional insights. Today, I have a special guest with me, Dr. Shaun Ghafari, a mechanical engineer, academic leader, and currently the Dean of Engineering at Humber Polytech. Shaun's career has taken him from across industries, from leading engineering teams at General Electric to shaping the future of applied sciences and technology in higher education. With decades of experience in mechanical engineering, research, and academic leadership, his journey is a powerful example of how passion, perseverance, and adaptability can shape a successful career. In this episode, we'll dive into his early influences, his career transitions, and the lessons he learned along the way. So, if you're a student, a young professional, or someone considering a career pivot in engineering and technology, this conversation is packed with insights you won't want to miss. So, let's get started. Shaun, welcome to Coffee with Convery.
Good afternoon, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much again for joining me and really looking forward to this conversation. So, thanks again.
Thank you for having me. Me too.
Absolutely. So, let's start with some rapid fire questions. What do you consider your superpower?
Human connection.
Human connection. That's a good one. I like it.
Thank you.
Schooling, you've definitely been through a lot of different schooling in your career. What has been your favorite subject?
Uh, Math and and physics. So they were my very the best basically my schooling subjects that I remember at least till now was these two.
Yeah, good classes to keep in mind as you go through life, that's for sure. We all start somewhere. What was your very first job?
My very first job was as a junior engineer in a manufacturing company.
Okay. So if you had to pick a word that you would describe yourself to others, what would be that one word you would pick?
That's a very good question. I think that I am a collaborator person
Hmm.
with my colleagues, with my internal, external connection and network.
Okay, collaborate. It's good. Okay, so everyone always wants to hear people's stories, like how they got to where they are, what did they experience along the way. Do you mind maybe taking us back a little bit of where it began for you, with you and like early years until you got inspired to pursue mechanical engineering?
For sure. My early childhood started with lots of soccer playing and also breaking a lot of stuff, especially my toys. And unfortunately, I wouldn't very successful to put them back together, but it was good enough to basically engage me with how things works. And how things works is in many cases was very successful. And sometimes, at those days, we didn't have internet, so we cannot see the YouTube about the things. So we have to take the screwdriver and see what is inside some of the stuff.
Lots of curiosity in that one.
Correct.
So, how did education shape your career? When you think about during your time at the University of Tehran, University of Waterloo, does that still influence you today, some of those experiences?
Absolutely. So I was very fortunate that to start my first job when I started almost my engineering studies. When I was studying in the mechanical engineering, I had the chance to work as a junior engineer, not engineer at that point, intern I call it.
Hmm.
And I will see that how the material that I study in the textbook and in the labs how they are going to be reflected in the actual industry. This gave me a real understanding that why I need this information and how I can apply them in the real world life and solving the problems. After finishing my bachelor degree, I joined the industry, working as an engineer in the manufacturing and especially in the automotive industry. manufacturing and equipment side. I was involved in a very large projects, and they give me a very good insight about the not only the engineering aspect of the many of the projects, but also the human aspect, the relationship, the collaboration, critical thinking, and being compassionate. So these are the things that in most of the cases you learn in the workspace. Uh,
Absolutely.
um, yeah, I can continue with that
No,
one.
keep
So
going. Yeah.
after, yeah, because you mentioned what University of Waterloo, and that was one of my best education experience. So after 6 years working in the industry, I decided to go back to the school. I met one of the professor of the University of Waterloo, and he encouraged me to continue my education. So I did my master in MEMS, or micro electromechanical systems, and then continued with the fault diagnosis of the rotary machinery, which was exactly the background that I had in the industry. So I had the privilege to see the synergy of the theoretical work and actual application of it in the industry.
That's so important. And I wonder if I could ask you a little bit more about that because I know you talk with a lot of students and I know you give them a lot of different advice and balancing the theoretical with the practical. What's your thoughts with students around embracing the two of those together, but really digging in?
That's, I think, the definition of the engineering is that, making new things, uh, uh, be, uh, uh, be inventor, be a person that who solve the problems. So I always say to my students that it is very, very important to spend time in the shop, even at your home, in the garage,
Yeah,
and learn the things and do the hands-on stuff, because that is going to give you an experience that you cannot find it in the textbooks. And this is a very important aspect of the engineering that, unfortunately, I think it has been, um, uh, I don't say diminished, but it is at least less focus on it in many of the engineering programs. But however, here, for example, at Humber Polytechnic, are focusing this hands-on training.
which is amazing, which is needed so much in this world of applying both those things. So let's talk a little bit about leadership. I know you've held roles at Sheridan and Humber Polytech. Um, it's an interesting transition. So driving your transition from engineering practicing to academia, what kind of led you in that bit of a shift? I'm curious. Yeah.
Very good question, Brian. Sometimes I'm thinking I really cannot do that. I have done that switch because I was enjoying the industry a lot, but circumstances of the life sometimes is completely out of the control of your control. But for this change and pivoting from the industry to academia, I had a very, very good reason. I had a chance to hire a lot of students and new graduates, co-op students in my work, and I saw the lack of the actual experience, hands-on practice, understanding, and deep understanding about the material. And during my work, I had a chance to teach a course at Sheridan College. And I found it so fascinating for me that the stories that I bring from the industry, students really enjoying that. They like those type of the classes, and I continued teaching as a part-time faculty for a couple of semesters. And then, you know what? I said that I want this new career.
That's amazing. So you tried it, you experimented, you liked it, and you said, "This is for me,"
Absolutely.
which is totally what this world is about, what our whole careers are about, is exploring, right? Like finding new things. I wanted to ask you another question as I was thinking about our conversation the other day, and I know a lot of young people come to Canada as immigrants, right? They come here, maybe 18 years old on their own, whatever the case may be. Um, what about your journey here and any things you want to share with some of the students who might feel like a, I'll use the word a bit out of water or maybe not feeling that they're fitting in? Like any advice or thoughts around your journey and how that went?
Absolutely. So obvious, it is obvious that immigration is not something easy. You learn new language, you learn new word, you learn new ways of doing the stuff, and in many cases you have to do all of them at the same time. Uh, so, uh, but but let me tell you that. Or tell all of these people that who come to Canada for a study or for a new life. It's very, very important to understand that the chance that you got to come here, it is something that it is a very, very I can say statistically it's not a very high chance for all the people in the world.
Mhm.
You got a very, very special chance, and you can use it in the best way. The people coming from another countries, they bring a lot of experiences that all of them can be reflected in the life in the Canada, and giving the diversity of their decision making is going to be make them a successful people in the future. So in general, I agree. Maybe a few years at the start is going to be difficult,
Yeah.
but it's going to pay off.
I believe that as well. And like you, we both talk to young people, and sometimes I find young students coming to the country are apologizing for not being here long or not really knowing. And I really try to encourage them to reframe that because when I meet folks like you, and now I've gotten to know you and listening to your background, I learned something from that, right? Like, so I think people need to be proud of where they come from and be not shy about sharing, maybe you speak two or three languages or you have that experience in another job in another country, or what do you think about that?
I agree, Brian. That's a very important to have a perspective about the other cultures, other languages, other people, because how you are going to make something that it is going to have a diverse application. If you don't know that what are the limitation on the different cultures, or it is very important to see the things in the different point of views, different lenses. People coming from the countries that, for example, a simple thing, electricity is a unlimited source, and people coming from the countries that electricity is has a very, very limited source, so they have to learn how to have the best efficiency of using that. So
Mm,
think about having this concept and coming to a place that you have the privilege of having the huge amount of the electrical sources. But at the same time, you have the idea of the efficiency. It's going to help you to be more efficient, more progressive in using that
yeah,
resources. And it is important if you have something as a right, and but compared to the people that they don't have it, I think they may have a better idea how to use it, or at least how to have a better and efficient way to use it.
absolutely. So thinking about some of the listeners today, which I'm imagining are of all different backgrounds, some engineers, some considering maybe going into engineering, others in different disciplines. But what advice would you give to young professionals navigating maybe the start of their career or maybe someone who's just graduated, whether it's from school to work or somewhere in between? Any advice you would give to young folks about thinking about careers and what to think about?
My first advice is that do not be very picky on your first job. And do not expect that your first job is going to be found in the first day. I can tell you, and I can share it with you. I can say proudly, I sent 400 resumes after my graduation from Waterloo, and I didn't get, maybe I got one call back. So it's very, very important that to continue the journey. The process is very important, and uh, but when you got to that point that you go to a job, you get experience, then you have a better understanding that what career path that you want to have it. At that point, I am pretty sure, and I promise you, you have the capability to change it too. Such
Mhm.
as myself, when I was working here at GE Canada, then I had the chance to change it to the academia. But my first job at the GE, it was difficult to find it.
Thanks for sharing that because I think sometimes people look at you and I and others that are in roles that have, let's say made their way or what have you, but it didn't come without a lot of work or maybe taking a job to get you to the next thing. And I'm really glad you shared that because sometimes I think, students think that this first job, even their internship's like the end all be all. And if they don't get what they want or what they think they want, then it's over. And it's actually just the beginning.
Absolutely. It's just a beginning. I 100% agree with you, Brian. It's just a beginning of your career, and career is a process. The journey is important. The goal, you know what? People can have different goals, but the journey, enjoy it, and cherish that through the whole career.
I agree. That's a really good takeaway. Thank you for sharing that too, because what are you going to do? Race to the end and then what? Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
So thinking about you've done so much fantastic work and been involved in so much like research initiatives and in both industry and education. I know a big thing right now from my side in the town is skills-based recruiting, right? Like we look for skills. What skills do you think are most critical for engineers today to think about?
That's a very good question, Brian. I have seen, in my current role and my previous roles, I was involved with the industry a lot. And you will see that the employer are looking for the holistic people.
Hmm.
We are looking for the people that who think, who are problem solvers, who can communicate clearly with the different level of the people, who are compassionate, who are collaborator. So these are the things that, although that's in the school, you're going to learn, you're going to be exposed to that in different courses, in different aspects, but you have to work and you have to put yourself and you have to in the situation to learn it. You are not going to learn swimming from a textbook, believe me, unless you're going to jump in the pool. It is very, very important, and the employers never want to hire a textbook because nobody can beat a textbook in the knowledge, but
Right.
nobody hire a textbook as well too.
I like that analogy too. No one's hiring textbooks, they're hiring people. That's
Exactly.
very, very good advice and points there too. Let's talk mentorship because I know that's another big thing for young people, networking, mentorship. And I imagine you've had mentors that played a huge role in your career success. Any thoughts about mentorship and, how that worked for you and maybe some thoughts around that as well?
For sure. I can say that my first mentors were and are my parents, my mom and dad,
Yeah.
which still I'm learning a lot from them. Uh, but an important thing about the mentorship is that, Brian, I think every single person has something that you can learn from,
Hmm.
or every single person can teach you something. I think all of them are your mentors. I can see that I learn every day from my colleagues, from my family, from my students, from the industry that I work, and from you even. So I see that mentor is not a one person. Mentor is a network that you are living in that,
Right.
and please use it because it is the best way to gain the experience rather than just having that experience is sharing that experience. So to the mentors and mentees, both of them, I'm saying that thank you, mentors, that you're sharing your experience with the other people, and mentees, uh, get as much as advice from the different people and learn from them. Be open for changing and be open to get different information from different places and do the analysis and use them.
I love that you added the analysis to that because really getting all that advice, the analysis of it and breaking it down and a little bit of research because someone's advice is simply that. There may be other variables for you to consider, right? Um,
Absolutely. And thinking about that is going to make a growth in your decision making. So getting a bad advice and filtering that, I think that's another important skills that everybody should have it.
great thought. There's one more thought I wanted to ask you because I know I recently was involved in one of these questions where someone said, what would you tell your younger self now that about the world you've navigated? Is there anything that you would tell younger Shaun about what to think?
Younger Sean, I can I can spend more time on the uh, more important aspects of the life. However, that's also a part of the journey, I assume. I will say that uh, go outside, experience, be creative, be take risks. So
Yeah.
maybe the only advice that I can, if I want to make it one advice to younger Sean, is that take more risks.
I like that. I like that. As we, this has been an incredible conversation. I just want to thank you so much for being a part of it. There's anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to share with the audience as you think about what we talked about today or anything there?
No, first of all, I want to thank you to having me, Brian, here in your podcast, and I really recommend this podcast to the all of my friends, my family. It's a very interesting, and I think it's a must-have podcast on your any app that you use your podcast, especially for the young and changing career people.
Thank you. Thank you so much for promoting it. It means a lot coming from you. And I know you really impact a lot of young people's lives. And if this podcast helps them to hear something from you today that may make them think slightly different or maybe approach something in a different way, that's what this is all about. So thank you, Shaun, again for, incredible conversation and being a part of this podcast. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
To all the listeners, whether you're starting out, navigating a career transition, or looking for inspiration, remember your journey is uniquely yours and every step forward counts. If you enjoyed this conversation, be sure to subscribe to Coffee with Convery at coffeewithconvery.com. And you can also follow us on Instagram so you never miss an episode. This is Coffee with Convery, where we show you that success isn't always about climbing the corporate ladder. Sometimes it's about your own adventure and building your own jungle gym. So thanks again, Shaun. It was great to see you today.
Great to see you too, Brian.